I mean, you know, there's a lot of different reasons to go out for a run. Sometimes it's for training and sometimes it's to do something like this, which is point to point and has like a vastly deeper and different meaning to it. So my name's Mael Backhausen. I've got the very common nickname of Madge. I would say I was late to the world and the community of trail running, but yeah, it's become a home. It's become somewhat of a lifestyle. I don't know why, I don't know how, but the whole concept behind running 100 miles seemed quite natural to me. And so, yeah, you just work with that and lean into it when you can and really enjoy it. And the next thing you know, you've got these unexpected, incredible opportunities in a whole different life that you never saw. And part of that is the opportunity to go and stand on the edge of a giant tract of amazing forest and landscape and run all the way to the other end. And it's something that hopefully we will be able to use to advocate for these forests and these lands and these animals and the protection that needs to be put upon this place.
On the doorstep of the soon-to-be largest city in Australia, the driest occupied continent on Earth, lies a tract of forest that's a complex, carbon-rich biological zoo of unique, rare and endangered animals. Although not many locals think of it so formally. Nor do many of us call it forest. We call it bush or country. And it's far more important to us than being a biological park. Humans have been living here for over 1,000 generations. Beyond its utilitarian value as a place of timber and water, or even a setting to take a muddy bike ride or a single track run, this tract of forest represents our last test for a species that already knows better. To many, this bush of gums and wattle and the largest tree ferns on the planet, the creeks lined with ancient sassafras and myrtle beach, is to preserve it, or render ourselves the most remarkable, senseless species on Earth. The economics of logging this bush don't stack up, and alternatives exist. But we persist. We persist doing the wrong thing by the animals, by the air, and if we think about it, ourselves. This is a run through a great forest, a forest that should no longer be logged, ever.
It's amazing when you think about, 4 days time and the need to run, 250, 300 kilometres in that time. And I think your mind can play a lot of tricks on you, but as a trail runner, I know that eventually when I get out there and just move, the body knows what it needs to do and the mind will soon enough quieten down. For me, I'm also just like really, really unsure like what's going to unfold, because I've done similar things, but I haven't done it like this. I haven't done it, so close to home, yet so far away from home as well. And I feel like really excited, but also pretty nervous. I guess you go into it looking at maps, and then it dawns that you've actually got to run it. And the first day is probably, in many ways, the hardest. Your mind's going one way to say, don't do it, and your body's going the other way to say, nah, we're not doing this. And then, after 50K or so, they kind of both quieten down. It's like, oh, I see what we're doing today. We've done this before. We're on a long running day. Cool, let's do this. Great Forest Star.
Have fun.
Thanks, guys. If we can use this opportunity and this journey to help celebrate these places, then yeah, it makes me really, really excited to get out there and really explore what's out there and immerse myself and connect. The run has begun. Standing on Tanarong land and making our way over to the east. It's a funny thing running, you know, like so often you hear people kind of passively joke about what are you running from, but it's real, you know, like people run for a reason, and a lot of the time, you know, it's to escape whatever else they're doing in life. And if you do that time and time again, running is a very habitual sport that can seep into your everyday life, and then all of a sudden you need it more than anything. Definitely making small steps of progress up this hill. One of the good ones of the day, no doubt about it. Oh, is this it here? That was day one. So fulfilling. It's a big place. It's a very big place. There was a couple of moments there where I was like, whoa, this is gonna take some mental fortitude this week.
Do you want to do some practice?
Oh, breathe easy, my friends. Breathe
Can
easy.
you believe they just took you 70 Ks? Plus?
Breathe.
Imagine.
Oh, all right. That was great. Feels like a whole new day is about to begin. Oh.
So we'll be spotlighting, a key is to try and keep your spotlight close to your eyes, close to your face. And what you're looking out for is very bright yellow eye shine. Essentially our main goal is to try and protect these forests. The way that we do that is by searching for threatened species in the night. The most common that we look for is the leadbeater's possum and the greater glider. The leadbeater's possum is a critically endangered endemic species to Victoria, and it's only found within the Central Highlands. There's only estimated to be around 1,500 to 2,000 or so animals left. So if we're lucky enough to get footage, then we would submit that to the Environment Department. They would then verify it, and once it's verified, we get a 200-metre buffer, which is a protective buffer around the sighting. And then within that area, no logging is allowed. Yeah. Yeah, that's eye shine. Oh, yeah, up in there. Yeah. Quite possibly a glider. Yeah. I'm just going to see if there's a better view to see if we can film it.
Feeling pretty good. Wouldn't mind another 4 hours sleep, but I'm feeling pretty good. So today we continue heading east. It's going to be a common theme. There's some pretty incredible native forest that's still intact that didn't get burnt from the 2009 fires, and that's a lot in Talangi, in the Talangi area. So it would be super nice to go through that.
Madge might not say it. In fact, he doesn't. That's why I'm here to tell you. You don't spring out of your tent after running 75 kilometres the day before. Beaten up, his thoughts and feelings right now are about fuel, blood flow and good air. As a long-range runner, he's an expert at this, working into the day. Today, Madge will run through a rare, old-growth seam of bush unburnt by fire, a huge swathe of Melbourne's water catchment, and he'll jog the last mountain today with his best mate, his sister. This is what Madge is thinking about as he warms into the first miles of the day, feeling out his legs.
Just kind of running past like the first kind of big logging coop of the day. Pretty unreal. Like you can just see tool gone.
So one of the things that's really quite striking about this broader area of Talangi State Forest is that over about an area of about 10,000 hectares, there's almost no old growth, almost no big old trees. The big old trees are important for storing carbon. They're really important for biodiversity because they have tree hollows. This forest will take about 200 years before it becomes suitable for animals like leadbeater's possum and greater gliders. So those animals won't be able to live here for a very, very, very long time.
You just don't know, like, we're in this epic bit of forest now, but as we've seen going through it, like 100 metres that way could just be like a cleared coop. And then all of that stuff would just degrade whatever water comes through. So it's a bit of a tough call on a creek like this. I just had my first snake encounter. Oh man. You see him in there? Oh, he scared me as much as I scared him, I think. Oh, I'm all for sharing trails with animals. Oh man, like, yeah, it's beautiful, but far out.
In water catchment areas, we find a law of nature that trains the young forester's early study because it forms the basis of practical forestry. Forest, soil, and water. One cannot exist without the other.
That's some of the best water anywhere in the world. About 150 years ago, the forefathers of Melbourne actually started closing some of their water catchments to logging and mining and grazing to maintain the quality of the water for the city of Melbourne. So almost everybody in Melbourne is dependent on this, water from mountain ash and alpine ash forests. The amount of water that's generated by a water catchment is a function of how old the trees are in that water catchment. So a forest full of old trees produces far more water than a forest full of young trees. Young trees are growing very quickly and they're sucking up the water through their roots and transpiring them through their leaves. And so that water then is not available to move down streams and small watercourses. So it's like having a household full of teenagers cleaning out your fridge every few days. That's what these trees are doing.
So this is a sign of Professor David Lindenmayer. This is one of his long-term monitoring program research signs. I'm so excited that we found that. Take a couple with me, yeah.
So in that case, would there be more or less Vegemite? Ah, yeah, see?
It's pretty good.
How far are you looking at?
Maybe like just under 30k. But I hope it's not that far because I'm already on like 48. It'd be like a 78k day. Oh, right. Okay. It's about 30k then.
Yeah. That's a park run. Am
Yeah.
I right, Magil?
We're definitely going to be home late. Let's do it, Sim.
See you, everyone. Good. Let's go, Magil.
See ya. Brought in the big guns here. Simone's going to help get up and over a few large hills out of
Some
Hillsville.
snakes.
Excellent snake deterrent properties.
So, how's the body feeling?
Feeling a bit tired. Not gonna lie. Feeling a bit tired.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty parched.
1, 2,
epic.
3.
Leeches?
3 leeches.
Yes.
There's some in the shoe as well.
Freaking small, eh?
Yeah, they're little ones. Well, salt works.
Not
Yeah.
everyone's got salt. Mael.
Yeah.
Now that's a different name.
He's a different person.
Well, in our Wurundjeri Wurrung language, Wamajenka, Yemen Kundi Bit, Wurundjeri Bullock, meaning welcome to the land of Wurundjeri people. And I do welcome you, and I hope and safe travels. This is so peaceful tonight. You can hardly hear anything. Almost a pin drop.
No, we really appreciate you taking the time, mate. Thanks for coming out.
No, I just,
Yeah.
what you have done. It's anything like that, I am happy. I'll go out of my way. I love it.
Yeah.
Being a runner in my early days,
Yeah.
I used to love it. I used to just turn off and just run. Do that.
Yeah.
So what are you doing tomorrow morning? You want to come for a run?
I'll pull in the car.
You're still positive, dude. You're still, because you could be a real grouchy bastard this morning, but you're not. This is good.
Could be a real shit show, mate. I mean, we could just walk today.
No, we're not walking. You haven't got out in this elite local runner to walk.
That's true. Yeah, thanks for coming along, Bo. It's great to have you here. You know, I'm very much looking forward to you and I, you know, I don't want to, like, it sounds bad to say that you're just one large entertaining distraction today, but I'm very much looking forward to your distracting entertainment.
And there's nothing wrong with me being a distraction, mate. I think that's exactly why I'm here. My momentous part of the day, Madge, bloody entering the real bush again rather than just the fringes of town.
Yes.
Good air, good damp air. Oh, and look at this, we've got our first bit of single track of the day.
Here we go.
Boom.
Oh.
So my name's Nick Fox. I've been living in Warburton for 23 years. I love my community. So this is just out from Big Pat's Creek, about 6 k's out of Warburton. What we're looking at here is an area that has been cleared by the state-sanctioned Vic Forests Logging Agency. We know what the science is saying, and it's saying that once these forests are cleared, they're dried out, all the new plants, the regeneration needs a lot more water. For the first 4 decades are much more flammable. After the fires in 2019 and 20, which are known as Black Summer, and we lost millions of hectares of forest and billions of animals, they continued logging here and then closer to our communities. There was like no respite, and I just went, this is it. This is going too far. We have to realise that logging so close to communities is of such a detriment in the decades to come. We have to stop this. And so at that point, decided to put everything I could into making some noise about stopping the logging around our communities. And since then I've become passionate about stopping logging everywhere. It's not just around communities. Why cut these trees down for predominantly wood chip and pulp? That is what's happening at a loss to Victorian taxpayers. It's nonsensical.
Let's talk numbers, because any argument about either logging this bush or not comes down to the economy of the forest. We'll talk about the forest as a cake, because who doesn't like cake? When a forest cake is logged, 60% of its biomass, that's everything that's there before the machinery arrives, remains in the bush. Half of that then goes up in smoke when it's burned to accelerate the decomposition of the harvest site. 40% of our cake leaves the forest as logs. 3/4 of those logs goes to the paper and pulp stream, 1/3 of which goes to waste. The remaining 11% chunk of forest cake, which are the best logs on offer, go into the sawn timber stream. Lo and behold, 60% of this chunk goes to waste. Of the 4% of delicious, high-quality cake that's left, 2% of this goes into fine timber products like staircases and windows. The remaining 2% are used for pellets and short-term timber products that typically have a shelf life of 6 months. I'm not sure about you, but if I had a party and only ended up eating 2% of my cake, I'd be mighty pissed off. Well, look at that tree! Holy moly! What a bloody environment. We're just approaching the Little Ada River through this ferny goodness. How you going there, brother?
Very good, sir. Very good.
Madge is, there's no kryptonite in the boy's bag yet, so that's good. He's bloody kicking butt. Here it is, a lovely Little Ada. Can you feel all the... So you've done almost 30 k's today, 110, plus what did you do on the first day, 70? 65? Yeah. So you're fast approaching 200 k's, mate, so can you feel it in the river?
Yeah. Got a few leeches on my shoe, that's all I can say.
Oh yeah, good point. I don't mind them on the extremities, legs and arms, makes for a good bit of theatre. But when you have one in your ear or in your bloody undies or under your arm, you think, you know what, that's just a bit personal, you bastard.
Yeah,
Get out of there.
Yeah, that's taken up residency.
Yeah, that's right. I want to find a moist little place that's like a river bend, and that's where I'm living. Oh, the big tree, the big tree. Yeah, isn't it just magic? What a grand dame.
That thing is estimated to be like 300 or 400 years old.
300 something, I think, yeah.
That's just...
Well, its size probably saved this. This was just too big to tackle. Let's leave it there.
Mate, I don't know how you manage with that beard.
No, go on, mate.
It's just...
It's a monster at the moment.
Oh. If you clipped it every now and again...
True.
Oh,
Yeah, that's happening this week. Just razzed, eh? So just a couple of weeks of just going boom. With the dozer and skidders, they just go for it. It is just carnage. Still don't quite know of the mentality of brutal destruction. Most of what you can see has been logged at some stage, if not all of it, other than the creek lines. I don't know. This is what it's all about, isn't it? This is the great forest debate.
it's a historic industry that's been going on like this for a long time.
There's a lot of good people that work in this industry too. So it's about transitioning them and getting them. I don't know. We've got to get the loggers on side, mate. We've got to give them an option. It's hard, right? Because we're just a couple of white boys running through saying, "Shit, we should stop logging here." But I don't know. Offer up some solutions, white boys. Yeah, you bloody running punks.
Yeah.
Anyway, mate, I'm sympathetic to how we transition from this because we've got to look after the loggers, but we've got to look after the air. We've got to look after our lungs, dude. I know that there's another logging coup about to happen, and that's where my interest now lies, because that's where death and destruction is about to just be.
Early morning on the fourth day. You can see that the sky is starting to light up, and it's just the perfect kind of a day. It's funny, I try not to get sucked in by using the last day as a phrase, because it's a long way to go. Interesting to see how it unfolds. Let's just call it day 4 for now, and we'll see where we are at the end of the day. The morning of the 4th day, got the moon setting over there, just stunning.
So what's the point to all this running? Just another running film? A well-dressed dude passing through magnificent drone shots to beautiful music? Madge is our muse, our vehicle to show off what's at stake. In the words of Professor Lindemeyer,
we need more old forests. The best way to get more old forests is to have more protection.
Older, left-alone forests are better for water storage. They're less prone to megafires and support lots more animals, and they're the best kind of carbon storage. And of course, such forests are exceptional for running, rock appreciation.
Whoa, look at that dude.
Bird watching and picnicking and taking photos while listening to a creek. The numbers don't stack up for logging wood, but it does for tourism in all of their glorious forms.
The Black Saturday bushfires had burnt vast areas, about 400,000 hectares of forest, and we sat down one morning in a breakfast, and there were some scientists there, locals, and we said, well, what are we going to do? What can we do to protect what's left? And that was when somebody said, let's do a national park. Park tenure is the strongest tenure available to conserve an area. What you call that park is irrelevant. But the point is, once the delineation on a map occurs and you've got those lines there, then that land should be effectively protected forever.
This kind of stuff, it's bullshit. We can do better. We have to do better because I know that there's a better way than what we're doing at the moment. I know that that better way will employ more people, give them better jobs, longer lasting jobs. It's better for the forest, it's better for our climate, it's better for our biodiversity, and it's better for our social well-being and our mental well-being, but it's also better economically. So there's a workforce here in tourism, a workforce in firefighting and fire prevention, and a workforce around carbon. And the size of each of those workforces is way, way larger than the current workforce in wood production. Victoria would be between $110 and $192 million a year better off without native forest logging. That's how much it costs the economy. It's madness to convert 80, 90-year-old trees into such low-value items. Taking diamonds and turning them into coal. Seriously. That's what it is. The government is talking about being out of native forests in 2030. It's too long. Make the change now. Make it so that we're out of native forest logging by 2024.
We've been operating in pretty archaic ways, and there's a lot of awesome change that really needs to take place. Like, change is tough and change is different, but change can be really, really beneficial. It's for our own benefit. It's for the benefit of us. It's for the benefit of animals. It's for the benefit of children. It's for the benefit of generations and generations away. But we're just not got to be afraid of change. It's really devastating when we keep operating in ways we know is very, very damaging to the natural world, and it's silly how we separate ourselves away from that natural world, because we're a part of it. We get healthier if the world's healthier.
Come on, you'll survive. You'll survive this last little bit.
Thanks,
Great
buddy.
job.
All right. Thanks, man.
Bye.
Here's at the finish. The sun is a cooking. Oh, the stream water. So good. That was amazing. Thank you. Seems like today there's a few more errors than normal. I can't believe I didn't fill up my water just then. It's got to be, I reckon, 10 kilometers to go, I think would be probably it. 10k. So
My friend Madge is not telling us the full story here. After running for 4 full days, his body is in huge deficit. He's suffering. But he's suffering in the best way possible. Here by choice, Madge is feeling out this forest via his feet and legs and lungs and knows what we're about to tell you. This forest must no longer be logged, ever. And his run represents a human experience to tell that story. It's as simple as that.
I gotta get jogging again. I'm gonna miss running tomorrow. Mushroom Rocks. It's gotta be one of the sweetest places I've ever seen.
How are you feeling?
Oh, I love running. Yeah, what a forest, eh? That's a big place. It's a good one. I guess this is just the beginning of the work. How do you know you've had a good day on the trails? You gotta check your crust line. Look at that. 5 lines of crust. Goodness, good. That is a good day on the trails. Crust line is strong. Still tastes good. Happy days. Still tastes good.